Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I am going to put this video in the playlist called Follow Up Friday. I haven't done one of those for ever and a day, so I think that's what I'm going to try to use that hashtag and use that tool for bringing you up to date on what I'm doing when I'm not with you. Anyway, this kind of took off. I didn't I didn't intend to do it all by myself, but yet one thing led to another, and here it is. So, you will, if you saw me show you this folio when it was just all stamps, you know that I was getting a bit concerned that it was kind of a sensory overload, a little too much. So I began adding black elements to try to, well, number one, pick up on all these black lines around most of the stamps, and also to give our poor eyes a rest. Now, my original thought was to close this thing with with black seam binding. But considering that I've got millions of pieces of or packages of seam binding, would you believe I don't have any black? So then I thought red would be the next best thing. Oh, the reason I didn't pull this out ahead of time is because I was going to show you. I know I've done this before. What I do is, keeping the shape of the circle, I cut through these little wings, and obviously then I've got that. Now I usually cut through this part, or I pull it apart, but I'm just wondering, it would be upside down if, I don't know. Anyway, these little circles make great, boy. I only had to cut half an inch, if that, and managed to put a wow in the circle. Anyway, these things, because they're kind of a heavy, I did it again. Ay. Maybe I shouldn't be doing videos at 10 p.m. when I've been up for how many hours? These make great, they could be used alone and just be great tuck spots or little rounded pockets, even, for that matter. Or they could be the base for kind of an oversized cluster or whatever your little heart desires. So I just wanted to show you that in case you haven't seen it before. Somebody must have been using this as a pin cushion. There are all those holes. Anyway, let's just see. Boy, there's not much on here. It gives me such a warm feeling when I get to throw packaging away. When I discover that, oh, I've used something up. Woohoo! So let's just, for the heck of it, because I've never done that, measure how long this is. So 23, 46, 46 and 15, quick. 46 and 15, is that 61 inches? Well, that seems a bit excessive, but we'll see. Probably not. Well, maybe it is a bit. We could make a nice loopy bow here. I would probably fiddle around with this a bit more, because obviously these tails are a bit excessive. Now, the other thing I could do is throw this in, a cup of water, and once it's wet, scrunch it all up and get those creases in it. Now that's, I don't know, matter of taste, I guess. Anyway, all that just to remove it. Okay, so I thought that I intended to do this video hours ago. And then I realized, oh, with a folio, you've got so many more faces, so many more planes to, I stuck something here to my riser and it kind of annoys me. You have so many more planes that you need to decorate. So anyway, okay, so what I've done here on this front cover, this is half the width of a wide bias tape that I, months ago or last year, ironed flat. So luckily the ironing was done. That was all good. To use it full width would have been way too wide. So I cut it in half lengthwise. Now I went to, here I was so proud of myself, thought I had all of my envelopes all together. Well, no, I have many more. Anyway, luckily I remembered to seek out my airmail envelopes. And I discovered that I had 1, 2, 3, I think 4, maybe 4, at least 4 and possibly 5 different styles. So I wanted to use them all. I've stuck these black pieces of paper in here to indicate that they are tuck spots or pockets or whatever. And also it repeats the black. But, and I also put it on a piece of black paper and matted it around the edge. But it looked kind of flat and empty. So then I started adding real stamps. And this kind of set the tone. I was repeating the blue and white, the blue and red color scheme that is in these bars on our airmail envelopes. Anyway, okay, onward. Okay, now I left, what the heck, thread or is that hair? I left these 2 flaps as I found them. The heck? And I'm kind of thinking that, you know, if I list this for sale and somebody really loves the you know, the stamp theme and so on, you know, they can either leave this as is and admire it in its glory. Oh, I see I need a little repair here. Or they can add some neutral paper that would serve as a writing surface. So you can see how, you know, I end up with roughly 1/2 inch on either side by using the bias tape. Okay, so let's open up this. So what I've done here is, again, a black pocket. And I used some images out of a stamp collector's album. So this was kind of, not sure what that page was about, but, and these are some little digital stamps. You know, considering how many of the real thing I have, I don't know why I ever bought a digital for stamps, but hey, go figure. This is a okay, what year was this? 1980 first day issue commemorating Alberta's 75th anniversary. So we really are a young bunch here. And rather than hoard this any longer, you're going to see this kid has turned over a new leaf. So that first day issue there, these are really cute. They are from, a National Wildlife Federation. some really beautiful little stamps as well. I mean, they're not postage, but they have that look. Then I used, on this side, I used a bunch of canceled stamps, and I tried, you know, I wanted a cross-section of colors, and I also wanted to highlight some old ones. So here's a 1943. This one is a 68. I don't know what that one is. 1959. That one I can't read. Anyway, I kind of did a collage again with letting the black peep out of there. So here are a couple more airmail envelopes. And what are the odds of having a black envelope? In fact, this was a CD envelope, but I just didn't want to be bothered doing, you know, having the window side out and then wondering, oh, what kind of a philatelic focal point am I going to use in that window? So I just flipped it over and made it so that there are actually two places to tuck things. I can't remember. I think I might have shown you the paper that I had chosen. So scrapbooking paper, wallpaper, ledger, scrapbook paper, wallpaper, scrapbooking paper. I left these ties really long, and again, I used black. Then over here, this whole thing, well, and I had to cut some of it off. This whole thing was part of a full page ad, I guess, or maybe trying to sell subscriptions to the magazine or whatever. So I thought, so I backed it, and I'm using it as a kind of off-kilter belly band. In here is just some paper that I thought looks good with the black. And this is one of the pages out of that album. Now, is there a year on there? So again, I folded in such a way that you don't see the distraction of, you don't see more busyness and the distraction of the stamps. You see white with a black border. And then just threw another scrap of black in there as well. These were, and who's ever seen a banana-shaped stamp, or this one that looks like what is that? Maybe a mango or something. But these came out of that same book that I got all these other stamps from. So I've said that's staying blank. Well, let's maybe do this. Another page out of that pocket, more of that paper. And then I thought, well, okay, let me look at my real stamps. I have the ones that I keep in the studio to use, you know, on clusters and a few at a time. But then I have others, and in fact, I have some, you know, boxed sets of the annual Canada Post issue for a particular year, and it's a book, and it's a slipcase and all that. Anyway, somewhere I got these postcards, and I put one of these in because I thought that color looked good with black. Here's another thing out of the magazine. Put one of these fake stamps on that just for a splash of color. And I also used, now I'm sure that every speck of lint is showing on this black, and maybe it'll be forever thus, but I also reinforced this initial fold with the full width piece of bias tape. And then I thought, okay, what else? So what's related to stamps? Well, envelopes, of course. And because I had in my organizing crazy phase, I had put in one place what I thought were most of my envelopes. Wrong. So I picked 5 different ones. And, but of course they were rather plain. Now that, in hindsight, I probably went a little too far with the stamping. Oh, that's another thing. You'd be so proud of me. I sorted through my, well, that's exaggerating. I put away all the stamps that have been kicking around here for months. I have a complete 3-tier rolly cart full of stamps. I mean, one day I will show you. And I also I have way more, but that's another story. Anyway, the point is that these stamps were easier to get to, so I started using different postal stamps, cancellation stamps, to spruce up these envelopes. I knew that I wanted them to just be fairly plain, but also have space to put things in. Now, because I was using these fake stamps, of course, the backs of them had something else on them. Oopsie. So what I did was I doubled them all up, which obviously helps reinforce them, especially these vulnerable ones with the little pointy corners. And it also makes it nicer to look at when you open the envelope. So these two obviously open sideways. Oh, and I almost forgot about that. These are also pockets. Now, I don't know if I guess I should put something in them. Then I put these three, so they're all vertical. I had this old cell, and this would be from 1978. Had this old glassine bag, and I put some fake, some digital stamps in there. I really like this idea. Now, I also, for a minute, toyed with the idea of seeing if my itty-bitty little magnets would be strong enough to hold this down. I don't know. I might still try that out. I don't think I've ever used magnets in my life. Now, I had already glued these three down when I realized, oh my goodness, the pocket is so shallow, you pretty well would have to stand on your head to get anything in there. So what I did, and I was intending to show that, I left this guy undone. I found the center of the envelope. I didn't erase the mark, I can see. And then I just, using my ruler, made a line to the fold, like to where the flap comes down, and then cut that out. And this is far more user-friendly. I didn't have another triangular stamp, so in this one I had to use two, and then I had to trim out those extra things because I didn't want it to show on this side. So I think that solved the problem of the shallow pockets. And I ended up doing the same on even these small guys. Now, it would have been far better, of course, to think of doing that before I glued them down. So that was kind of a pain. And this, believe it or not, is the last of the stamps out of that book. So those are going in here as well. Maybe I guess I could have split them up so it wouldn't, maybe I should do that so it isn't quite so bulgy. Okay, is there anything else I need to tell you? Whoops, put them in the envelope, woman. Okay, I need another paper clip. Oops, let's not have this guy on upside down. Tuck those in there. And I have to say, this is a bit of a novelty for me to start a project and finish a project so quickly. I did not do anything to any of these pages. That probably helped with the speed of getting it done. but also just oh, see in the back, I didn't do anything on the back either. But again, I think if, you know, a real stamp lover ends up with this, this is entertaining and informational all on its own. I wonder, thinking out loud here, I think what I might have to do, and again, you know, it's too bad that I get all these bright ideas a little bit late in the process, but I did have the thought momentarily earlier today. I didn't act on it. I think I should go over this cover, all these panels, with matte medium. And that way it will help seal them, and it will also help, you know, it makes the surface a bit stronger and, you know, probably a bit easier to keep clean and so on. Yeah, so that's it, my dears. My stamp-loving friends. I don't think I have any charms that would be appropriate, but I could find something to tie on to here. Or another thing that could work, this batch here, these are uncanceled stamps, so these are all good. So when the hard times come, I can use, well, I can't use those. I can actually use these stamps to mail stuff. Can you imagine how many 8-cent stamps a person would need? The envelope isn't big enough. Anyway, why did I pull this out? Oh, I know what I was going to, well, we're just going to pretend. I don't want to tear this apart because stamps have value if they stay together. But you probably have seen the idea where someone will glue, you know, either 2 punch outs or 2 of something together onto a string and let that be the decoration. Obviously, I wouldn't use stamps like this. So, yeah, I think that's what I'll do, but I'll figure that out. Whoops. Tomorrow. This I bought at auction. These were all from Newfoundland. These have to be old. Newfoundland joined Canada in 1949. Anyway, guys, I will stop there. One thing that I discovered while I was looking through my real stamp stuff is that I have, whoops, some books or some stamp albums that I should probably list for sale. So this would have been similar to the book that I cut up for all those stamp images, although this one is in beautiful shape. I don't know where I got it or what I paid for it, but the other book was in sad shape. That's why I didn't feel bad cutting it up. And I guess the advantage to having cut that one up is that the pages were more matte than these. So we'll see. Obviously, I have more plans than I have time for execution. So what is the year on this, by the way? 91. So that's vintage. Okay, then, now I can't remember if this was part of an auction purchase or just a flea market type thing or an antique thing. This one has some stamps in it. 1966. So it has the similar sort of pages that you saw me fold up and use. And like I said, it has some stamps that are hinged, which is good. Although I guess some are also falling out because it's, I mean, 1966 was a long time ago. I don't know what went on here other than somebody must have had a piece of paper in here and the acid from the paper migrated to these pages. That's my theory. I've said it before, but I will repeat it, that when my daughter and I were in Ottawa, we went to the National Gallery of Canada, and one of the exhibit halls, or what do you call them, galleries, was, oh, that's cool. It looks like kind of like cross stitch. Johnny Appleseed. One of the galleries was devoted to Canadian stamps. So it was just this entire room. And of course, stamps are, this is how big they are. So they were mounted on black panels. And there was it was like a timeline. And it was amazing. Because of course, stamps are the result of submissions. I think there are rules. Like you have to either be, well, I guess people who are still alive get honored every so often. I don't know what you have to do to get that, but obviously deceased people are often highlighted, and I guess I should learn that. This one I have a soft spot for this one. This is actually a duplicate that I found somewhere and probably overpaid for, 1963. But this is the exact stamp album that I had as a kid. And, you know, really, our world was so small back then. Whoever I bought this for obviously plucked all the stamps out, the few that were in here. So there are these vestiges of the hinges. Oh, there's a stamp. They missed that one because it was black. Anyway, of course, this book would be totally inadequate for anything that came after 1966. But what a wonderful, I don't know, I'm mesmerized by the art. Because I think, you know, there is a process, I guess, for call for submissions. And of course, then somebody is selected and honored and so on. I don't even know if they get any money, to be honest. It's probably just that that warm patriotic glow. But yeah, so I might have to look through my stamps and albums and decide to part with some of them. Anyway, obviously I won't part with mine. So guys, thank you for being here. If you are a new subscriber, and there seem to be new subscribers, so thank you very much for that. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you are a new subscriber, please comment and, you know, tell me so. If your name is not, if the handle you're using is not your real name, I always appreciate knowing what your real name is. And I like to be able to address you by your, you know, to properly address you. So again, whether you're new or whether you are returning, I truly appreciate it. And you know, it's sort of that time of year where a person gets, I don't want to say sentimental, but I know that I really begin a process of reflection about the year that is ending and the year that is about to begin. And you guys have become such a key, play such a key role in my life. It is I think those of you who know me a little better know that I don't, I don't blow smoke. If I say it, I mean it. If I mean it, I say it. And quite often there's criticism of young people because they don't have any friends in the real world. They're just on their phones and their devices all the time. Well, I think the same can be said of me, because let me just confess that I spend more time with you guys than I do with any flesh and blood people in my own circle. So take that for what it's worth. So when you write something in the comments that is sincere and heartfelt and kind, it obviously makes me very happy and content. And I think that those of you who have been paying attention know that the feeling is mutual. So recently I got an email from one of my favorite, and of course you're all my favorites, but one of my, I would say very special subscribers. And the subject line was, "I need a friend." And she went on to break some bad news to me, and about a tragedy in the family, and what they were having to go through, and she said, "I feel like you're a real friend." And I thought, well, likewise. And it kind of got me right it hit me in the heart. Number one, that she trusted me with this news, this sorrow. And the last paragraph made reference to the fact that, she would be, not on YouTube for a while. And I thought to myself, it was almost like an apologetic kind of thing. And I'm thinking, this is above and beyond algorithms and subscriber counts and likes and stuff like that. It is real life at its worst. And I think it just speaks to her kindness that she was letting me know that, hey, I won't be around for a while, and here's why. I gave whatever support and advice I could. Sometimes people aren't in the right, or in the time and zone to hear and accept and assimilate suggestions or whatever. But I don't know. I guess I just wanted you guys to know that whether you're commenting or reaching out through email, and I do prefer email, frankly, to any of these messenger things or Instagram or chat rooms or whatever, because they are private and they are personal. But whatever method a person uses to reach out, know that I am humbled and I don't know, I guess, well, I'm humbled by that. And if I can do anything to make somebody feel better, whether it's, a lot of you tune in for my inadvertent, I don't know, sense of humor, wit, whatever. Or advice or life philosophy or, storytelling, whatever the heck it is. It does, I guess what I'm trying to sputter and say here is that I'm here regardless of whether what you're saying is good, bad, or ugly. It's great to receive the compliments and the support, but I would like to think that our relationship is deeper and better than that superficial measurement, and that if you need somebody to be a sounding board, or you need somebody to say a prayer for you, or help put things in perspective. I don't know. I don't want to inflate what I am capable of doing, because Lord knows there are a lot of people inflating things these days. But yeah, honestly, I didn't mean to go down this tangent, but please know that if you reach out to me, that I'm humbled, and that I will do my best to respond in a way that I believe will help you in some way. So with that, I will say good night. Oh, I should point out too that Gertie is here. Our daughter's French bulldog, Gertie, is here. She came to the farm for holidays. So, yeah, life is going to be a little different for, well, what is it, about a week or so. But, yeah, anyway, we better get to bed. So thank you for being here, and I hope you picked up some ideas from this folio. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.